Welcome to the University of Nottingham podcast.
You must do quite a few of these talks.
Well, no, yeah, I just do them when I'm asked to, really. I think the last time I gave this talk was a year ago in Kalamazoo, which is it's Kalamazoo. It's on Lake Michigan. It's you wouldn't believe it, but it's the world's biggest medieval conference. It's
Really?
Unbelievable.
Now, why the interest in Richard? Why this staunch defence of Richard II? Because it's not a topic most people would normally leap to.
No. Well, it's really come out of my Chaucer studies, really, and looking at Chaucer and what happened to Chaucer. And a few years back, myself and some other academics wrote a book called Who Murdered Chaucer? And it's about the possibility, well, it's a strange thing that Chaucer disappears just when Richard II is usurped, and he disappears within a month of Richard being murdered. And so, is there a connection between the two? And I think we've proved that there is definitely a sort of there's some sort of connection there. You'll never prove that Chaucer was actually done away with, but there's certainly circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
And that also got me into being interested about Richard himself and about what Henry IV did to him, and I think the relevance, why you say why be interested in something like this that happened 600 years ago, but in fact actually it's really relevant about today because it's the same kind of people coming in with the same spin and putting out propaganda, exactly the same as Blair and Bush did and Cheney and Rumsfeld did for the invasion of Iraq. And it's exactly the same as what Henry did with Richard. He was guilty of a treacherous and illegal and immoral act, and he wanted to wipe the slate clean and actually, convince posterity that he was a good man, and everybody wanted him to come in and do this. And Richard was he was a terrible tyrant, and he succeeded. He succeeded brilliantly for 600 years, and it's only just now that people are beginning to be realise that historians have swallowed Henry's propaganda machine and the propaganda, and so questions are being asked, and we're finding out that Richard was really quite an enlightened monarch, actually.
You're known obviously for your interest in history, but how far back does it go? Because if you look at the old Monty Python films, medieval folklore and scenes seem to be part and parcel of that work, anyway.
Well, yeah, I suppose the Holy Grail actually did come about because I was actually thinking about Chaucer at the time, and I was sort of doing a lot of work on the 14th century and late 14th century. So I was kind of interested in that period then, and I think that's why I suggested, why didn't we make it, because the first script for Holy Grail was half of it was modern day and half of it was medieval, and so I said, well, why don't we make it all medieval, because that was really what I was interested in.
Who's next, just to wrap up, because which poor misguided figure of history defend?
Yes, I don't know. I haven't got anybody in my sights at the moment. I don't really feel I finished with Richard yet, so it's a work in progress.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot.